Clayton Cosgrove.
That member reminds me of, in the Edmonds cookbook, you used to buy desiccated coconut. And what they'd get with a desiccated coconut is to break the coconut open and hollow it out. That's what that member reminds me of. That member asked for numbers. Well, if he cared to have a look at the revenue, vote revenue, it's page 138. We'll go through a few numbers. Now, I know Todd McClay, who inherited the revenue portfolio, poor soul and he is, from Mr Dunn, can't take absolute responsibility for the massive overspends in this portfolio. So the member wanted some numbers. Well, let's give him some numbers. So in the report it says, it talks about the child support reforms. The child support reforms, originally estimated to cost $30 million. Because of delays, the budget was revised to $210 million, and then after Mr Macleay came in like the night watchman to clean up after Peter Dunn, he bodged a few figures and revised it down to a blowout of $163 million. So there, for the desiccated coconut in the corner over there he's just spoken, are some numbers. We'll also turn to a couple of other numbers, shall we? Look at the business transformation project, page 139 in the estimates. $100 million spent to date. And what have we got to show for it? Do we have a computer program? Do we have some, we've got some reports, we've got a few piles of paper, but do we have one keystroke banged on a computer keyboard? No. And the first 100 million's been spent. No, you keep quiet over there. The first 100 million's been spent. The old tumbleweed in the corner over there. You keep quiet.
Order. I'll just remind the member on his feet that his nicknames for various members of the House has got him in the brown stuff before. And I would suggest that he refrain from using those nicknames and tend to refer to members by their proper name.
I take the point, but I don't understand the first technical point, sir, but I'm sure we're going to have a chat afterwards. Sir, if we look at some numbers on the business transformation project, as I've said, $100 million spent. The latest estimate for this amorphous beast is $1.3 to $1.9 billion. Now, for the new member at the back, Mr Hudson, I don't know where Mr Halls is, but Mr Hudson, he may remember he wasn't a member here when we had a thing called INSIS. There were a number of members in this House. The police project, remember? And that was put down to what they call spec creep at the time. So that project rolled out at a couple of $100 million. I think the final bill for it was well over $1 billion from member. Now, like that member, I was not in the House. I was working in the Parliament, but I well remember that one. So I wonder if Mr Bennett will come back in, maybe take another call, and as he's fond of addressing numbers and those sorts of things, if he would address some of those. The final point I want to deal with, sir, is what was foreshadowed in the budget, which is the infamous land registry for overseas interests, if I have time. This is an absolute doozy, sir. This is a cracker. This is a Bill English special. After Bill English saying, along with Dr Nick Smith, that a register or any type of database of foreign ownership in residential land would be 1, a complete waste of time, 2, totally unworkable, and 3, to quote Dr Smith, cost millions of dollars. What do they do when their feet are put to the fire and they need to look as if they're doing something about the foreign ownership issue? Well, they come up with a land register. And then we find out that it will not be universal. It will not cover the main home. You will not have to provide an IRD number for your main home. Why? Because it will be a financial and compliance burden to you for somebody to ring you up and say, where's your IRD number? Can we get it? Also, we find out that it may well be possible, I don't know if Mr Macleay knows this, to have 2 main homes. So this register, oh yes, according to the IRD officials at the Select Committee, and Ernst & Young got up and could not find a reason why people should not universally provide their IRD number, whether it's their main home or a second residence, whether you're a domestic or a foreign purchaser. In fact, EY got up and said there is no compliance cost, there is no financial burden or other burden to people doing that, but what it would do if you made the register universal is it would give you high quality statistics and a real register if you really as a government wanted to know what is going on. So I look forward to the debate over that, and I bet the Minister, whatever he likes, that we'll be back inside 12 months, amending and patching up that piece of legislation. It's designed as a piece of political propaganda so that the government can appear to be worried about foreign ownership in residential property, but putting together a regime that you could drive a bus through. Even Mr Bennett, in his own limited and weird way, may be able to find a way around that. I think he might. Even Mr Bishop nods in agreement. So